What's up, world? Hope everyone's doing well. I'm jumping on here because I figured it'd just be a lot easier to jump on YouTube and talk to you guys for a moment. Maybe you'll come across this video, maybe you'll join me live, maybe you'll watch the replay later. I'm here right now standing in the middle of our new Kali Center training compound that we have going on now. And we have so much work to do. We're building it up. I'll kind of walk around as I'm talking and give you a little bit of a tour of it. Kind of show you guys what's going on and everything. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope you guys are getting some good training in. You had a great weekend, got some training in, got outside and got some training in. It's funny, man. I get some people that still sit there and, you know, they're like, man, how come you're always outside training? Why are you always training outside? You know, some people trying to give me a hard time because I'm always in nature. And, you know, they're like, man, you got to get in the city. I'm like, I grew up in the, you know, half of my life in the city, but you know, all this stuff, whatever, doesn't really matter because the most important thing is while those people are complaining, I'm out here training and I'm out here helping you guys train and progress in your Kali skills. And I've been doing that for a long, long time now. So all the trolls, haters, all that, I'm so thankful for them because they are a lot of times my most dedicated fans. Right? But anyways, you know, get outside, get out and train. Hopefully you got some of that going this past weekend and everything. And yeah, hopefully you just, you know, that's what it's all about, right? If you're training Kali, then you got to be training, right? You got to be performing. You can't just be talking about it and just only watching videos and stuff like that. But here I am. I'm in the training compound. Got the house behind me. Pool's going to be getting ripped out in the spring. I'm taking that out. We got the barn over here. We got all the pasture over here. You can check all this stuff out. Hey, Umar, man, what's going on? I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Hopefully you're doing well. I'm doing really well, man. Staying busy. Wet, a little wet today. It's a rainy day. We got the barn over here, everything. And we got the pasture. There's going to be a garden over here. There's going to be training implements that's going to be integrated in the garden. We got our front pond. All kinds of stuff, man. Hey, what's happening? So we have so much going on that's going to be coming in regards from Poland. Nice. I'll give you a fist bump back, man. But yeah, we have so much going on. We have so much planned for training in 2020. We're bringing so much to you guys, especially here on the YouTube channel, which I'm really excited about. I'm going to kind of be doing a little combination between the YouTube channel and our Facebook group that used to be the Kali Center community, but I just changed it over to the Kali Center compound. So if you're looking for our Facebook group, it's a free Facebook group. Just request to join it. Go to Facebook and search Kali Center compound, and it'll pop up there. Just got to request to join it. There's 3 survey questions, very simple to answer. Nothing's crazy personal or anything. And then we'll just go ahead and hit approved, and then you're in. So we're doing so much, man. I got so many new videos already planned out that I want to train, or that I want to film, that I can finally film, because being in the Chicagoland area, it was getting really, really hard to film, and I could never film specific videos that I wanted to film, that I've been wanting to film for years. I just didn't have access to something like this. So, you know, that I have access for 24/7 at, or, you know, 25/8, right? And now that I do, it's just going to be nonstop Kali action, guys. Nonstop. But if you want to see like the progress of what we're doing here, because we're doing more than just Kali here. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be going on here. It's kind of like, you know, the rural life, you know, the country living and all that, which I've been wanting to do since I was 15 years old. So for the last like 20 years, this has been like a secret dream of mine, is to have my own kind of like mini homestead or what. So you can check out my other YouTube channel that I just kind of started, which is right now it's just titled Paul Ingram. I don't know what else to call it. Maybe at some point I'll have a name for it or something. But check out my other Instagram account, which is Paul J. Ingram. Maybe at some point I'll change that if I figure out something else to call it. I got my Facebook page and stuff, and you can follow along with all the different stuff that we're doing here. And that's where I'm going to be showing the progress of the house, the garden, the training implements that's going to be in here, and all that stuff. So, you know, I'll probably have a couple like how to build certain training implements, but the actual growth and all that stuff is going to be all featured on my other channels. So you can check them out if you want to. Totally cool. But 2020, man, it's going to be all about just hammering, man. It's going to be hammer time. We're just going to be hammering, training, man. Practice, performance. That's what it's going to be. When training outside in Korea, almost people look like they're in danger. You get that a little bit here too, especially in the city parks and stuff. People kind of like around the Chicagoland area, people started getting really used to us because we would train everywhere, and you know, we've been doing it for a long time. So people just, you know, we'd always have people kind of come up to us, hey man, it's Kali Center, they're out here training and stuff, you know. It got to that point, but you know, just kind of part of it. That's actually part of one of the secrets of training outside is, you know, when you have eyes on you, I tell my staff guys and my staff candidates this all the time, but when you get outside and you're in the public eye and you're training, in the beginning, you're very self-conscious, right? And you're like, oh man, I don't want people watching me. You know, it has nothing to do with like trying to show off or show the world what you're doing or anything. But it does show where your confidence level is in your performance, in your training, in your skill. And the more confident that you are, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter who's watching you. It doesn't matter who's, you know, whatever you think people are thinking about you. It doesn't matter, right? Like we've been outside in public. We have people laugh at us when we're training, when we're flowing and sparring and fighting and all that. I don't care, because while they're laughing, I'm training, man. And that's the most important thing, right? Because I'm getting better and I'm doing something constructive and productive with my life while they're just sitting there laughing and admiring. There's a little bit of admiration in those laughs. Just remember that, right? So, yeah, super excited for 2020. In 2019, it didn't quite go out the way that I planned. Like the year just didn't quite go the way that I planned. I wanted to do a lot more for 2019, but a lot of stuff just kind of came up, personal stuff, business stuff, not really with Kali Center, but some of my other business adventures and things that just kind of crept up on me and needed a little bit more attention and things. So I just wasn't able to produce as much as I wanted to for Kali Center. But for 2020, you know, now that this place is finalized, it's done, all my other business stuff, it's all set up, it's all ready to go. You know, all I have to do now is do some check-ins and do a little, you know, some marketing updates and attend some events and stuff like that. But everything else is pretty much hammered out. So I took 2019 to iron it out, all my other stuff, so that I can just focus on what I really truly love, which is Kali, right? And teaching people Kali and helping other people advance in their skill development. And the reason why I like doing that is because, number one, obviously, like, why would you be doing something like Kali if you didn't want to advance into physical skill? But I love seeing what it does to people. Like, I love seeing how it evolves people's lives, right? Like, there's so many benefits to training Kali, especially the way that we train it. It's intensive. Some of the guys on here right now attended our Belgium seminar, our Belgium camp that I did back in September. And they know now, right? Like, you guys know what training at Kali Center really is like. It's not like watching the YouTube videos, man. It's different. It is intensive. It's demanding. It's physically demanding. It's mentally demanding. It will challenge you sometimes emotionally even. And that's how we really get growth. I believe if you want to become great at something, okay, not good. If you just want to become good at something, right, good enough at something, you know, then you don't have to listen to this part. But if you want to really become great at something, it must challenge you, and it must demand from you on all three pillars, what I call the personal pillars, which is your physical skill, your physical performance. It's got to challenge you that. It's got to demand that. So the athleticism requirement is going to be so high, which we got some really cool data on, which we've been keeping track of our data, our physical workouts and stuff. Holy crap. No wonder why people are actually seeing real life results from Kali Center training. But it should challenge you and demand you physically. What you're doing should demand you and challenge you mentally as well. It should be mentally taxing. It should be mentally exhausting from time to time. It should be challenging your focus. But also it needs to challenge you emotionally as well. And it's got to demand that you not only like get frustrated, but understand your frustration. Because on the other side of frustration is what? It's joy, right? When you're getting frustrated, when you figure it out, when you're frustrated in your training, you got to keep pushing, you got to keep going. Because if you're frustrated, that means there's a breakthrough that's waiting to happen. It's right there. You're on the brink of moving to a whole nother level. And when you accomplish that, what do you get? You got joy out of that, right? Your confidence goes up. Your drive to keep going, your motivation, all that stuff goes up when you accomplish it. And that's where I believe your training should definitely incorporate all of those things, all those demands, all of those challenges when you want to become great at something. And if you don't want to become great at something, for me, it's like, well, why are you doing it, right? Or why are you dedicating time and money and energy and all that into that thing, right? Like, who wants, why would you do fitness, and increase your health like haphazard? Why would you do that, right? I mean, if you're gonna go work out, you want to go get maximum results, right? Maximum benefits. But when you're challenging yourself in this way, when you want to become great, that's where you see all the other life changes in what you're doing, right? It's no longer not just a physical exercise, right? It really becomes part of your lifestyle, right? So I'm out here right now. You can see we got a lot of like pasture. We got about 6-7 acres or so of kind of pasture area. And then all the rest is wooded. So I'm on, a lot of people ask, what size lot are you on? I'm on 22 acres. And we got a lot of good woods in here and stuff. Like it's all oaks, hickory, ash, black walnut, maple. There's some cypress. It's all good. It's all good forest. So super excited. So for 2020, before I start going on a big rant, because I've already been ranting for 13 minutes, what I want to do is jump on here and really just kind of update you guys what's going on and what the vision is and what the goal is for Kali Center for 2020. I got a couple things. And then at the end, if you want to stick around, I'll just kind of, promote our ITC a little bit and talk about ITC and why you should do it, all right? Thank you for what you do. You are absolutely welcome for that. But honestly, it's me who has to thank all of you guys, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be able to do what I love to do. Maybe it's a give and take. It's a little bit of a yin and yang, like we need each other to make this happen. You guys consistently watching the videos and jumping into the courses and programs and coming out and training with us and all that, that's what allows us to keep going and keep, trying our best to provide you guys the absolute best training that we possibly can, right? So everything that Kali Center gets, everything that Kali Center makes, income-wise, I'm always looking at ways to invest it back into Kali Center so we can keep giving back to you guys and keep making it better, honestly. Like for me, like purchasing this is for you. Like this is it's for Kali Center. It's not for me personally. Because me personally, I can just go take my hammock, take my backpack, and just go live in the freaking national forest that's right here. Personally, I would be totally happy with doing that. So all of this is for you guys, so that I can just keep making better new content, and just keep rocking and rolling, man. Like that's the whole point. So for 2020, what I want to do is two primary focuses in 2020. Number one, I was just talking about this on my Facebook groups and all that, but number one is I'm going to change my focus for my own personal training, and I'm going to do it in a way I've never done it before. All right? I want to do something completely different with my own personal training. For all these years, I've been involved in Filipino martial arts for 20 years now. I got involved when I was 15 years old, the summer of when I was 15. And obviously, if you do the math, I'm 35 now. That would make me 35. And for 20 years, all of my personal training, the primary focus was me. The primary focus was, how do I get better? Right? How do I improve my longevity? How do I improve my athletic performance? How do I improve my technique? Right? And studying the academics and doing all this research around blade fighting and all this other stuff, right? But it's the focus, the intent was always me. My teaching was always, for kind of twofold. It was for other people, but it was also for myself. 2020 is going to be the first time, and this is absolutely an experiment for me because I've never done it this way before, intensively. 2020 is going to be the very first time where even my own practice, my own training, the focus and the intent is you. I want to have my own personal training be done in a way that is benefiting your training and benefiting your skill development. So everything that I'm doing in 2020 for Kali Center, that's the mindset. Okay, it's you. It's not me anymore. And I've never done it like this before. I don't know if anybody really has ever done it like this before. In 2019, there were a couple things that happened. Number one, I wanted to produce a lot more. Like, my goal for 2019 was to try to produce at least 2 to 3 videos per week here on YouTube. But it didn't happen. It happened here and there. It was kind of spotty. I did have a couple periods where, a week or two would go by and I didn't have any new, any videos or what. So, what happened is, not only did personal challenges happen, other business venture challenges happen, but what happened is I wanted to capture certain ways to film things. Like, I wanted to have certain views and certain frames and things like that, and I didn't know how to make it happen. The cameras that we had, they just weren't good enough. I didn't know what angles, how to find the right angle. There's just things that it just wasn't panning out, because there's certain details and there's certain technical details and things that I want to make sure that I can capture. So that way you can see it how it should be seen. And that's where in 2019 I was experimenting with a lot of different angles. I was talking with professional photographers and videographers, and I purchased courses. I went through YouTube and watched everything I can on photography and videography and all this stuff, right? And there was a lot of great advice. There was a lot of great insight. There's a lot of great lessons. Some of the things that I wanted to achieve, I couldn't find really much information on, but some people were pretty close to it. So basically what I'm saying is that 2019 was an experiment. I had to start experimenting and playing with and figuring out, how am I going to film this stuff? And, how am I going to film a lot of this stuff by myself? Because it's, I have to be able to do that, because I got to be able to film and do these things when it's just me doing my solo training and all that. So anyways, definitely made a lot of progress in that department over the last 9 months or so. So that's number one. Right? That's my number one for 2020, is changing my personal training focus and making it all about you. My second is I want to aim some stuff towards Kali teachers, martial arts teachers, and all that. And I want to increase the quality of teachers. There are some really great teachers out there. But when I look at the vast majority of martial arts teachers, people who are kind of more so like starting up, or maybe they've been teaching for, maybe a couple years now, they're starting to gain experience. I want to make sure that we're helping them become better teachers, right? So with our Inner Triangle program, last year we launched an attachment, which is our leadership program for those who want to go through the teaching path through the Kali Center method, right? The Kali Center way and everything. Teaching like our curriculum and all that. That stuff, right? You could apply the teaching stuff to anything else that you're teaching, because we're giving you teaching information, right? Not just doing a drill, but how to transfer the information to other people so that way they are actually upping their performance. And what happens often in the martial arts is that you attend, a weekend seminar. It's like an instructor's seminar, and you train for 6 hours a day, right? You drill for 6 hours a day, really. So you get 12 hours under your belt, and then by the end of the seminar, you are granted with an apprentice instructorship or an authorized, instructorship or something like that, which is great. But where do you go from there? And this is for those who really want to, do something more with it. Because if we're not advancing the quality of our teaching, then the benefits of martial arts dwindle down, right? And people don't get the benefits from it. They rather go to, Blast Fitness Gym or, go to LA Fitness, because they're going to get more life benefit out of doing that than doing their martial arts. And I think obviously the fitness is very important, but martial arts has so much benefit to offer. And if we know how to do it, if we know how to teach it, they're just naturally going to get those benefits. You're not going to have to like try more or anything. It's just going to be built into it. So it's really about how to present the information and what to look for when you're teaching and all that. So that's going to be like my second focus. For me personally, observing different teachers and different people that are teaching, there's two main reasons why people have a hard time, or they're just not as high quality teachers or anything like that. Number one reason is obviously they're not getting the education on advancing their practice as being a teacher, right? Actually learning how to teach, because these certification courses, you're doing some drills and you're doing what I refer to as a minimal requirement of training, and then you get certified. But there's no actual instruction on how to teach. And I get a lot of questions, and this is why I'm wanting to do this, is I get a lot of questions from other teachers asking me, how to improve their own teaching. So I'm like, well, let's rock and roll that. This happens a lot, mostly in person. People that attend my in-person, like, my ITCs and my seminars and stuff like that. That's really where I get that question a lot. So that's what we're going to be doing. But that's number one. They're just not taught how to teach. Number two, the second reason why is they're not training, man. They're doing a little bit of practice, right? They might put up a Facebook video of them, hitting a tire for 2 hours, for 2 minutes. And, they got a workout in, and that was their training. But you have to train. If you're not continually training and seeking growth yourself, like just because you're practicing, just because you're training, doesn't mean that you are continuously growing. So there's ways to make sure that you are training, to make sure that you are continuously growing. And I feel that somebody has to take a position of leadership. Like, everybody knows that I'm training all the time, right? Every single day. If you follow me here on YouTube, if you're on Instagram, Facebook, if you're in the Inner Triangle, wherever you are, if you're a staff of mine or what, then you know that I'm training all the time, right? Every day. Even if it's only like a 20-minute session, a 30-minute session, there's training every single day. The important thing is that there is specific focus in that training, and that's where it gets most beneficial. So, but right now, my own personal dilemma with that is it's kind of hearsay right now. Because in 2019, I didn't post as much, right, as I wanted to. So it sounds great. Oh yeah, Paul Ingram, man, he trains all the time. Like my Inner Triangle guys know that I'm training all the time. But you guys, maybe, maybe not, right? You kind of have to trust in the word. So for 2020, that's why I want to do my whole soul training thing, how I'm doing it, or my own personal training, how I'm doing it. Because the only example is through leadership, right? And the only leadership is through example. It's a yin and yang. And that's what I want to make sure I'm doing is leading that. Being like, look, man, you got to be training. You got to be performing every single day. And doesn't mean you got to kill yourself in training every single day, but there's got to be intentionality in every single day's training. So that's how you start becoming a great teacher, is making sure that you are training with the purpose of growth every single day. Make sure that you are maximizing your training, your personal training every single day. And learning how to teach. Very important things, right? And that's how you become a great practitioner, a great teacher, all that stuff. So that's kind of like what we're doing. So for 2020, I've changed the Kali Center community to Kali Center Compound on Facebook. And that's going to kind of link up with the YouTube channel a little bit. I'm going to be posting, obviously, a ton of new videos here on YouTube. Some of them are going to be instructional, just like we do now, like little drills here and there for you to try out and focus on and do all that. And some of them are going to be a little bit more, I don't know, maybe motivational. Some of them might be just geared towards specific like training tips and stuff like that, to help you just stay focused in your training and all that kind of stuff. Or, you know, maybe you're kind of feeling like, man, I don't want to do it today. I'm having a hard week. You know, I'm hoping that I can create some content that just, you know, keeps that spark and, you know, plugged in and all that, because I know how hard it is. Through my 20 years of training, just in Kali and FMA itself, it's hard sometimes, man. It can be hard. It's very easy to get distracted in life, or just, you know, feel like you're kind of plateauing and you start losing the drive and the motivation to train and, you know, all that stuff. And I know how that goes. And I want to like actually help people out through those kind of plateaus and those rut times and, you know, those dry spells, right? So there's gonna be all kinds of new content. I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys, you know, are gonna appreciate all the new stuff I'll be putting out as well. But the point is, that's gonna kind of link into the Kali Center Compound group that we have on Facebook, where even though I'll do a video here, I might do like a follow-up video, or I might do like a live training session of a particular lesson, or show you how to link two lessons together so you can start enhancing your flow. I might add additional training tips and training insights to a particular drill or something like that in the Kali Center Compound group, right? So that's why they're gonna kind of link together. There might be a little bit of promotional stuff in that group. The Kali Center community, I always kept the promotional stuff out. I didn't really want to promote even my own YouTube channel. I didn't want to promote my own like events or anything, because I just wanted to be the focus of training. But there might be a little bit, because there might be like suggestions, like you really should come out to ITC because, right? But it's not with the intent of purchasing anything. It's just a suggestion for you to continue growing your Kali. And that's really the intent. All the promotional stuff for Facebook happens on the Kali Center page. that's where it's like, click this link and buy now, right? I mean, you have to do that, unfortunately, but you have to do that. So, all that stuff. The emails, I'm gonna be having more training tips and insights and drills of the week and all that stuff in the email. So if you're not on the email updates, you can go get those at collegecenter.com. You know, they're not just gonna be like sales emails. They're gonna have value to them. So we're gonna be doing a lot. We're gonna be doing a lot. And hopefully through this example in 2020, this will open up a floodgate for all the other Kali instructors in the world to pick up their game, right? To pick up their game in their own personal training, their solo training, their teaching abilities, their teaching skills, you know, because it's kind of my goal. It's my goal not only to promote Filipino martial arts. Uh-oh, I got a new mole. Not only to promote Filipino martial arts, but it's also my goal to create the top best Kali teachers in the world, right? That the world has ever seen, right? That's kind of how, like, in my mind, that's how I'm titling it, right? Kali Center, I want to create the world's best Kali teachers the world has ever seen. And in order to do that, we got to up the practitioner's ability, right? We got to up the just the practice. You know, it's not just opening up a class and going and teaching. That doesn't make you better. That doesn't necessarily make you a better teacher. That doesn't necessarily make you a better practitioner. There's a lot of work that you got to put into it. So that's the game for 2020. That's the game plan. All right, I'm going to see if you guys had any questions, or I'll respond to any comments and all that, and then I'll talk about one other thing. Hello. If I didn't say hi to you, I'm saying hi to you now. It's great to have you guys on here. Usually when you go live on Facebook, it's just like a ghost town, but Instagram and YouTube are always best. Let's see. When training outside, yeah, I talked about that. Hello. Well, it looks like there will always be a stick handy when you need one. Yeah, man. I'm gonna show you guys how to like train with other stuff too. So using like improvised weaponry and all that stuff. That's gonna be like in the YouTube videos, and I'm not gonna put that in like the new solo training guide, like the new paid programs and stuff, but I'm gonna have some fun videos like that too, like doing, you know, Carenza with a shovel or something, or doing a drill with a shovel, you know, like something. Like I wanna have fun stuff in there too. I'll be, see me, yeah, that's good, man. You have cleared the path and plowed the hard ground, making it easier for us to follow your example. I like that, man. That's a great comment. I appreciate that comment. That's really been my goal, is how do I make Kali more accessible and more attainable, right? And to achieve, not just to do, but to achieve. Greetings from Texas. What's happening? Don't be so hard on you. I'm not hard on me. I just want to make sure that I'm giving you the best that I possibly can, right? Like if you're not, I believe if you're not really working hard, there's 4 disconnections that's happening in the world right now. And these disconnections is really, everybody I've talked to from around the world is all experiencing almost like this global this global depression. Like there's this emotional imbalances and stuff. And I believe it's because these 4 connections that we need are being disconnected. The number one connection is people are losing their connection with nature. So you have to get reconnected with nature. If you're losing this, you are losing the essential foundation of what it is to be a human, right? Or to be an animal, to be a creature on this planet. So if you're losing the connection with nature, everything else is going to fall apart. Doesn't mean you have to, like, you know, go swim with the sharks or something like that. You could if you want. But it just means make sure you get outside, spend some time in nature, and either maintain that connection or start to build, or, you know, have more growth with that connection to nature. I think that's very important because we have instinct in us, we have intuition in us. That comes from our connection with nature. That leads into number 2, which people are becoming disconnected with themselves. All right, so they're, especially now with social media, I mean, you opened up Instagram and there's so many examples of what am I going to be today, right? Who's living the best life today? Or, you know, my life sucks, I want to be more like that person today, right? There's all these external examples of how we can externally be. So we're losing that connection with ourselves. When you spend more time in nature, when you're training in nature, you're spending more time in nature, you're spending more time with yourself, or you're spending time with people that actually matter to you. So you start to rebuild that connection with yourself. That leads into number 3, which is people are losing the connection with their own creativity or with their own work. All right, people have jobs that they hate. People are doing things that they just don't want to do. So they're losing that connection to their own creativity, to their own work. I believe that you gotta have that connection with what you are doing. Okay? If you don't have that, you're gonna fall into recession, you're gonna fall into depression. That leads into disconnection number 4, which is people are getting disconnected with other people, right? They're losing that connection, the social life. People are losing, you know, the value of friendship. They're losing the community feel. So if you rebuild those connections, then I think you could reverse this global depression that we're seeing. That's just kind of exploding right now. So that's why it's not about being hard on yourself. It's just about, you know, get your work out there, get connected with nature, get connected with yourself, be connected with your work and your creativity, and then open up your connection with other people, which is what I'm doing right here, right? And that's huge. That helps so much, so much. Let's see here. Paul, you are great. Thank you. Thanks, Roger. I appreciate it. Hawthorn supplements increase stamina. Oh, did you see the hawthorn trees when I was over there? Yeah, it does. What's happening? Do you have a planned pathway for instructors to rise through the ranks? Yes, I do. It's a very traditional way. I'm kind of taking it back old school. But yes, I do. So in as far as instructor ranks through Kali Center, teaching ranks through Kali Center, it's very progressive. It's not fast. So it's not like a, you know, instant gratification, but I do. And it's basically based on the combination of 2 things. Your actual physical performance, and also your academic understanding, and then also your ability to teach and transfer the knowledge and the skill to other people. But yes, I do. That's our leadership program. I'm late. Hey, better late than never. Let's see. Show basic body mechanics. Watch my other 500 videos here on YouTube, or better yet, head over to Inner Triangle and become an Inner Triangle member, because I explain body mechanics over there. What about sports events? Yeah, dude, we're gonna be doing some stuff, man. We got future plans for Kali to become a massive sporting, but it's gonna be awesome because it's not gonna be watered down. I've discovered a way to actually make like a game out of Kali game as like a sporting type of thing, where you're not losing the quality of your Kali, right? It's not just like you know, and then you got like a clicker and you can't get all the hits. It's a little bit more like fencing, but it's Kali, and it's pretty badass. Me, Tom, Ali, we've experimented with this, and this is probably something that we're going to be launching a little bit later in the future. Probably more like maybe I'm kind of shooting for 2022 to kind of launch that out. It's going to take a little bit. But dude, it's awesome, man. It's so fun. It's so fun. But all the training that we're going to be putting up there, especially like for my solo training guide, it's going to help people build skills. So when we do launch that, you're going to be like, dude, you're going to be ready to jump in and give it a shot. It's awesome. So that's another thing I'm really excited about. I just can't put it out there yet because we're just not in position yet. Hello, do you train with cooktop canes? Do I train with cooktop canes? I don't know what a cooktop cane is, but I have done a lot of training with different types of canes. I'll have to look that up. Clear all distractions. Yes, absolutely. I was thinking about the same thing yesterday. Oh yeah, about the like the connections, the 4 disconnects. Yeah, Looking forward to see the sporting events. Wish you good luck. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. So real quick, while I'm just wandering around here, ITC. I made a little post out today about how to advance your training, how to make sure that you maintain progress in your training. And it's over on the Facebook page, College Center Facebook page, and it's also on the Instagram over there as well. Check that out because I do go into it. I give you my 3 top tips how to advance your training and make sure that you are continuously seeking growth. I'll do a quick rundown. Number 1 is obviously making sure that you're training every single day. But it's not just about moving around every single day. Like, you got to have an actual pure intent and focus to your daily training so you know what you're actually building, right? What you're actually growing in. If you're just doing random training, which is okay about 10% of the time, you can just be random. But if your training is always random, it's hard to progress. You know, you're not going to progress as fast as you would like. You know, like people that run schools every single day, they're doing something completely different than the day before. You know, you learn a lot of drills that way, but that just because you're learning drills and you're performing drills doesn't mean you're actually advancing in skill. Okay, skill and drills are different things. So there has to be what I call an intuitive, progressive curriculum. That's number 2. You got to have an intuitive, progressive curriculum, right? Some kind of program that is a building blocks program. Again, that's going to keep you on track so you're not doing this like random training all the time. It should start from the very beginning, what I call the foundation, moves you up to the fundamentals, moves you up to the intermediate and to the advanced, and so on, right? Foundation is different than fundamentals. And then number 3, so obviously if you have number 2, if you have a really good structured curriculum, right, then you most likely probably have a really good teacher because they go hand in hand, right? So that's 1 and 2. Training every single day. Make sure you have a what I call an intuitive, right? Meaning that it's like when you're going through the program, you're like, oh yeah, duh, like this makes sense. It's really simple, but sometimes the most simple things are really the hardest things to achieve, especially as a teacher. It's taken me a long time to put together, you know, a program where I'm like, dude, this works. Like Tom, he's kind of been my guinea pig for the last 11 years. This January will be 11 years that he's been training with me. He's kind of been like a guinea pig for a lot of things, so, you know, it's just kind of how it is. But yeah, make sure that you have that. But you also got to make sure that you're getting around high performers from time to time. And that's what ITC is all about. ITC, this is our 5-day immersion training camp. And within these 5 days, we train between 40 and 50 hours. Sometimes we might even go a little bit more than that, but roughly about 40 to 50 hours throughout the 5 days. There's a little bit of hiking involved. And the training is physically, demanding and challenging. It is mentally demanding and challenging. And sometimes it can even be emotionally demanding and challenging. It's hard, but this is why I call it immersion training camp. The word immersion, we're not just throwing it out there as a marketing term to try and like attract people to want to come out to ITC. We call it the immersion training camp because you're actually immersed in not just the training, but in the mindset that we kind of cultivate here at College Center. Like we have a mindset here at College Center. We have a culture here at College Center, and our culture is performance. That's what our culture actually is. So those of you who have been to an ITC before, you guys know. If you haven't been to an ITC, you don't really know the feeling of it. But this is also why we have so many people that are repeating, right? They keep coming back and re-attending ITC. Every year they are different. So we do different things every year. There's a couple foundational things that are the same. But it might be taught a little bit differently because there's different questions. There's different skill sets, there's different experience levels, all that stuff. So there might be a few differences, but then we do have specific things that we change up. Like this year, we're gonna have a whole segment, or actually a whole day on Espada Daga. I gotta like wrap this thing up because my battery is getting low here, but you know, we're gonna have a whole day on Espada Daga. We're gonna have like some more knife stuff. I'm gonna be teaching drills I've never taught publicly before that I've been working on for the last about 18 months, 24 months or so. But yeah, it takes about 5 days. It takes about 40 to 50 hours to really have that immersion. And if you've never attended an ITC before, day one, in the first about 5-10 minutes of training, you're gonna be like, I understand this whole immersion word thing. Like, it's just like, bam, right out the gate, man. It's crazy stuff. So ITC, we got an early bird special going on right now over at KaliCenter.com. You can head over there and check out all the information for it. I think it breaks down with the early bird special. It breaks down to like 16 bucks an hour for, not even, because we're going like more than that. But it's an awesome, awesome event. If you're an Inner Triangle member, you get a bigger discount. You know, just if you want to become an Inner Triangle member, you can sign up to that and get the discount. And then if you want, you could even quit the Inner Triangle if you just want to get the discount for ITD. I don't, you know, whatever. Just come train, man, come train. But being around those high performers, it's not just about being able to physically do it. They're high performers up here too. People like Tom, people like Ali, people like Raph, people like Centurion, one of our other guys here, people like Chris, people like Will. These guys are like they're not only high performance physically, but they're high performers up here too when it comes to this stuff. And being around that mindset, not just the physical training with them, but being around the mindset of a true high performer changes your game, man. It really does. So, new to Kali, love what you do. Best wishes. Thanks, man. Are the law enforcement take interest in Kali? They mostly rely on guns these days. We have law enforcement people that come out to our ITC. So we're working with the Wyoming Law Enforcement Academy right now. They come out to ITCs and they're loving it. They're implementing it into their law enforcement programs, their defensive tactics and programs, and they're seeing real live on the streets, real results. It's actually saving cops' lives out there in Wyoming right now. So, yeah, there's law enforcement that are starting to get more interest in not only what we're doing, but how we're doing it, and that's really the most important thing, is how. Do you have a favorite location to train and do drills? Yes, outside. Went to the first ITC. It's transformative. Yeah, dude. Highly encourage everyone training and attend at some point. Yep. Get out there, man. Get out there. I am law enforcement. Kali has been incorporated in a lot of what we do. Yeah, it's crazy. It's getting more dangerous out there for law enforcement. So yeah, people are now they're starting to see some really good results from our stuff. Right? Because I teach you like a Kali guy. I don't teach you like a like a cop. So a little bit different feel. That's why they come to ITC. They probably don't want me at their academies, so they come train with me. Right? So yeah, it's good stuff though. It's great stuff. Yeah, man, thanks for your time. Thanks for hanging out with me for a little while. If you want to check out ITC, head over to KaliCenter.com. If you have any questions about it, you can email me, drop a comment. You can DM me on Instagram. I'm all over the place. I'm probably the easiest martial arts instructor to get a hold of. So, yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully we get to see you there because it'll be awesome to train with you. There are limited spots. It's happening June 24th to the 28th in Custer, South Dakota in the Black Hills National Forest over at the Broken Arrow Horse Campground, which is awesome. So it's 5 days. You're outside exposed to the elements, and that's awesome. So that's about all that I've got going on, people. That's all I got right now. I'm looking forward to it. 2020, it's gonna be a big year. All right, get out there, go train. I got some more work to do. I got another training session I gotta do. And then I got some stuff I wanna post up over in the Kali Center compound. So maybe I'll see you over there. If you're not in that Facebook group, if you're on Facebook, request to join that group, Collie Center Compound, and we'd love to have you in there. All right, talk to you later. Let's see, how do I get out of here now? They changed it on me. Oh, here it is. Later.